Hey guys, I hope you're doing extremely well. So I want to be keeping you guys up to date with my vegan journey, not only with my vegan journey but also just changes that I'm making in my life in general. And as I shared in my quitting veganism video, rededicating myself to the vegan cause or just being vegan in general, it has really improved many different areas of my life. It's helped me become a better person overall. It's helped me change my lifestyle, helped me do things that helped me gain the courage to do things that I was scared to do previously. So it's just been a really positive implementation, like a positive addition to my life. I'm going to be sharing with you some changes that I've made to the way that I eat in an attempt to become healthier overall. So yes, one of the changes that I've made in my eating habits as a result of being on a plant-based diet is being more aware of the amount of oil that I use in my cooking. A lot of us know that oil isn't the best for us, and the less of it we use, the better it is, the better for our health essentially. I don't believe I will ever be oil free, but I have started to make changes in the way that I cook my foods in order to reduce the amount of oil that I'm consuming. When I do use oil, I'm trying to use better types of oil. So and that's because I know that I'll never be 100% oil free. So, you know, in the past, usually I would always use sunflower oil, which is kind of like, it's not one of the baddest oils, so it's kind of like a good type of oil anyway. But I'm making improvements and I'm changing from sunflower oil to cooking and frying with coconut oil because that's a much better oil to use. I am considering, you know, trying out avocado oil for cooking as well. It's just really expensive. It's more expensive than coconut oil, so I'm not too sure whether I'm actually going to do it, but it's just one of the considerations in my mind. But yeah, in terms of when I do use oil, I'm transitioning from sunflower oil to coconut oil because it's a better source of oil for our health. And then in terms of just reducing the oil as a whole, I'm trying to stop frying. Like when I make stir fries, for example, we don't necessarily need to use oil for a stir fry or to like lightly fry something. So one thing that I'm doing is, instead of using oil, I'm starting to use vegetable stock. So essentially just water and a vegetable cube, using that, heating that up in the pan first and then putting my veg in and then frying it that way. Or I just use plain water. And that definitely has helped me consume less oil. You know, I'm just not frying my food in oil all of the time. And when I do use oil, I'm starting to use coconut oil as opposed to sunflower oil. So those are the changes that I've made when it comes to oil. And then that nicely links into the second change that I've made in terms of the way that I heat my vegetables. I would love to be raw. Actually, I wouldn't love to be raw. I would hate to be raw. The idea of a raw diet does not entice me, excite me in any way, shape or form. Eating a raw diet does not excite me. It's not something I would want to do. But I do understand the rationale behind eating raw, because when we heat our foods, a lot of the nutrients are changed or they reduce in number. The molecular makeup of the food changes when you heat food, especially when you overheat food. So, and that's very applicable to vegetables. You know, they're very delicate vegetables, and you know, heating them reduces their nutritional value immensely. So one thing that I'm trying to do less of is boiling my vegetables, because when you boil vegetables, you're essentially draining most of the nutrients away, especially if you then pour that water away down the sink and not keep it for like a vegetable stock or something else that you're cooking. So I'm boiling my vegetables less now, and I am using a steamer. I've had a steamer in my kitchen for years. I used it a couple times when I first bought it because I was excited, and then the excitement wore off and it went to the back of the cupboard. I have now brought it back out, and I'm steaming my vegetables now as opposed to boiling them, and I'm really happy that I've made that change, because I know that I'm keeping a lot more of the nutrients in the foods as opposed to them sapping out of the vegetables and then draining away in the water. Steaming vegetables is much better than boiling vegetables, and yeah, I'm trying to even increase the amount of vegetables that I'm eating. So using the steamer, it feels like I'm looking after myself more in that way, and it's also just made the cooking process more exciting, although there is slightly more washing up that you have to do because of using additional pots. But that's one thing that I've done as well. So I'm consuming more vegetables, and I'm steaming them as opposed to boiling them. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably realised that I am very protein conscious. I actually used to, when I was newly vegan, I used to make my lunches protein based. So all of my lunches were all protein based. So I used to make them, you know, it was predominantly lentils or like quinoa. Like the base of my meal was a protein source, because I was so conscious about vegan protein, like getting enough protein, because that's what everyone worries about when people go vegan, right? Like, where do you get your protein from? So I've sort of like calmed down now, and I've realized that I don't need to necessarily have as much protein as I was having before. Actually, it was quite interesting because I was listening to a video by, I think it was Dr. Gregor, like a well-known vegan advocate in the medical, well, not in the medical industry, because he's kind of like, he's not a typical Western doctor, but he knows, he's a very strong advocate of the vegan lifestyle and vegan diet, and I believe it was him, he said that he, in his medical experience to date, he's never actually met someone who is protein deficient. It's very rare to meet someone who is protein deficient, whether they're vegan or not. So the average American or the average person, they actually consume too much protein. So the worry is not, are you getting enough protein? It's more like, you're eating too much protein, you need to slow down, you need to ease off it, kind of thing. But yeah, I want to ensure that I'm getting enough protein, and even perhaps slightly more than I need, because I've started weight training. So I'm all about building muscle, and your muscles need protein in order to grow. So I've purchased this. This is pea protein. It tastes absolutely rank. It smells absolutely horrible, but but I want to ensure that I am increasing my protein intake as I do, you know, hours and hours and hours of exercise each week. I tried the amount that they suggested, and it tasted absolutely horrible. I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't even finish the whole glass of water, to be honest. So I just like poured it down the sink. So I don't use the entire scoop because it just tastes too bad to even back that down your throat. So literally, before I go cycling in the morning to work, I just have about one heaped tablespoon, put it in the water, mix it up, shake it up, drink it. When I come home from work after cycling again, I have, you know, the same thing. So I don't have the recommended daily amount, just because it tastes so awful. I can't imagine having that much pea protein, and it smells awful as well, to be honest. And I went on Google and I checked forums to see if other vegans have said the same thing. They're like, yes, this tastes absolutely rank. Another change that I have made is I have waved goodbye to white rice, and this is actually completely amazing in my eyes, because I grew up eating white rice. Like, my family eats nothing but white rice. I think like the first time I tried brown rice, or ever tried brown rice, was when I was in my 20s. So like, yeah, it just wasn't a thing for me. But I have, as I'm learning more about food, I'm wanting to move away from those refined carbohydrates. So white rice, white pasta, white bread, that is a no-go area for me now, essentially. So yeah, so I finished my last bag of white rice a couple weeks ago that was left in my cupboard, and I'm solely on brown rice or bulgur wheat. And if you don't know what bulgur wheat is, I'm going to do a separate video about that, but literally I only now consume brown rice or bulgur wheat. And I guess the only times that I do eat white rice is when I go out to eat, and obviously restaurants, they give you white rice, or if I'm at a friend's house, family house, and then obviously I eat their food and they use white rice to eat. But yeah, I've gone off white rice. I do still like the taste, it's just I want to eat food that is more nutritional in value and that hasn't had a lot of the nutritional elements wiped out, taken away from it, stripped off. So yeah, that's a really good change, because brown rice and bulgur wheat, they're much better for your body. They're slow releasing, you know, it's just much better than white stuff. Also, I've transitioned from using white salt to pink Himalayan salt. And I've been using pink Himalayan salt, I think, from the beginning of my vegan journey, to be honest. So since like October of 2016, it's just much better for you. White salt has all the nutrients. They've all been stripped off. This the pink Himalayan salt has all of the essential, what are they called? It's not essential nutrients. There's the specific word. Essential minerals, I think it is. I'll put it in the screen anyway. But yeah, it has all of the essential nutrients, things that salt is supposed to have when it's, you know, derived from the sea, in it. So I use pink Himalayan salt and no longer, you know, white salt. White salt does nothing for you. I bought a food scale now so that I can officially be weighing my foods in terms of, you know, the stuff that I'm adding to my meals when I'm cooking. And this food scale, I bought it from Groupon. It's by the brand Ozeri. And I really like it because you can change the units, so it automatically changes the unit for you, so you know how much whatever it is in grams, in ounces, whatever. And it also gives you the measurement without the container. So if you put your food in a container and you want to know how much the actual food weighs and not the container and the food, it tells you that as well. So I really like this food scale. Yeah, I guess just being vegan, it just helps you become more conscious overall and more intentional about the foods you eat and the way you eat as well. And that's what I've definitely found since becoming vegan. So yeah, so those are just some changes that I've made recently in terms of my vegan journey and the direction that I'm going in. I'll definitely keep on doing these regular updates so you can like keep up with what I'm doing in terms of my vegan journey and like changes that I'm making, improvements that I'm making, stuff like that. If you're vegan and you've made recent changes to your diet, recent improvements, let us all know by leaving a comment in the comment section. If you're considering going vegan and you have questions, or you just gain some insight from this video, let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section as well. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at agaveafro. I post tons of stuff about my vegan journey, my lifestyle, whole well-being journey on there, so follow me if you're not doing so already. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. See you soon, take care, and God bless. Bye.